Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mayday Mayhem Mystery, and I am your host, Mayday Mayhem. Now, this one is going to be one that was for the books. Now, I said I was going to do more crime videos and, of course, current affair and current event videos that's going on in our day and time. And I ran across a story of, let me make sure I get this beautiful angel's name right, Caliyah McNabb. Now, Kayla only had actually 15 days of life on this planet before she was murdered by her parents. And just so we get an understanding of who Kayla was and how beautiful she was, here's a picture of her. And as you can see, she is a beautiful baby. Gorgeous. And she only had literally 2 weeks, really literally 15 days of life. Now, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what happened to Caliyah McNabb. But let's start off by figuring out who in the fuck are her parents. Her parents are Courtney Marie Bell. That is mom, Courtney Bell. And this is dad. Now, this is the way they portrayed themselves before going to court. And this is dad, Christopher McNabb. Now, they were on the news in search of their daughter, trying to figure out what happened to their daughter. Now, the way the story starts, we have to always go back to the beginning whenever we start any story. Now, the way the story begins is that I just want to make sure I get their names right. And please, this is a discretion also, because we will be talking about a death of a child. So it may be a little squeamish to others. So I'm just giving you a little advisory before we continue on with the story. Now, Courtney and Chris, they had another child, which is a 2-year-old also. They had their beautiful baby, Kayla, in 2007. She was born September 23rd, 2017. I apologize. To Courtney Bell and Christopher McNabb. Now, when she was born, she was premature. And she only weighed, about 6 pounds? So not only was, a premature birth, they have to stay in the hospital a little longer. They need a little bit more extra health. But Kayla was only, let's think about it, she was only 2 weeks and 1 day old when she passed away. Now, let's talk about the parents. Now, this is how they portrayed themselves in the courtrooms. That's dad, Chris McNabb, and that's mom. Now, we are going to talk about what actually happened to the baby. Because you're like, what happens to a 15-day-old baby? What happens? All right, in the short sum, this is what happened to this beautiful baby, Kayla. She was reported missing by mom when she woke up in the morning, that she could not find her baby. Now, the baby is only, like I said, 15 days old. A baby that's 15 days old cannot move that much. They can't. They're not moving around every which way they can. They're not like a 2 and 3-year-old that can move and run and jump and get out of the bed and hide in places. Now, they did a survey and look up the home, and they had pillows and everything on the floor. They had said the baby was gone when they woke up. Now, there's a dramatic difference between this picture when they first found reported the baby missing and how he appears in court. I don't know why they always put these glasses on him. I guess to make him look less intimidating, but that's insanity to me. But anyway, Chris McNabb and his girlfriend, they reported the baby missing and said that they woke up and the baby was gone. Now, a little thing that you don't know is that before they went to bed, they had smoked a little bit of meth. Yes, they were known meth addicts in the area. And like I said, they had a 2-year-old, and they also even asked the grandmother to babysit the 2-year-old and this tiny 15-day-old baby before it passed away tragically. Now, this tiny baby, some of us are parents and some of us are not, but you've seen a baby before, and you know how small they are and how fragile they are. How can I say it without being too detailed? But the baby went missing. They found the baby about a day or so later in a wooded area behind their house inside. Now, this is where the viewer discretion has to come in at. They found the baby inside of a, what do you call those, drawstring, inside of a Nike drawstring bag with a onesie on, and was wrapped up. Think about the little Nike bags. You know those little Nike drawstring bags that we get and we put on our backs? One of those, a baby. Now, not to mention this baby was premature, only 6 pounds. So this was a small baby. Now, baby was found inside of a bag underneath a log in like a little cavern, like they had dug out like a little hole or something. Now, when they opened up this bag, like I said, the baby was there. It was wrapped up, and it had skull fractures. Now, like I said, I'm a mother of 4. I have birthed 4 children. I have had to take care of 4 little tiny babies. And I know how fragile, and I'm pretty sure y'all listening and hearing know how fragile babies are. They're very fragile. So this baby had skull fractures. A baby, 15 days old, skull fractures. Like, what the fuck? For real? Excuse me. I keep forgetting I'm on YouTube. I get a little vocal on my podcast, Mayday Mayhem podcast, where I do go into more depth, and you hear a little bit more of my my real tone and stance on how I feel about child abusers and abusers of all kind. But here, talking about baby Kayla. Now, we all know 2-week-olds, we've had those rare instances, like when I had my first baby, I had seen babies before, but I didn't know babies. You know what I'm saying? And when you look in your baby's mouth, you can see their little teeth that's going to develop as they get older. It's just a little indentation of where their little teeth is going to come out when that time does come. This 15-day-old baby was showing actual teeth was back. Like, you can see the teeth coming out because it was an abrasion, which means it was some type of trauma done to this baby's mouth to where literally the teeth were coming out of the flesh. The most decomposition started mainly in the head area because that's where most of the trauma was. It was blunt force trauma to the head. Like I said, when we look at this baby, this is a baby. This is a baby that needs to be cuddled and loved and hugged on and kissed on and just fattened up and everything, just loved. But these parents decided to have meth over their children. Literally, they were on meth a day before the child became missing, and the sentencing was a little insane to me. Because they were sentenced. This happened in 2017, and the sentencing didn't happen in 2019. Chris McNabb, he was sentenced to life with no possibility of parole, and 10 years for the death of Caliyah McNabb because she was in y'all possession. Now, he was given more time because evidence was saying that he was the one that hid the body. He was the one that could possibly have harmed the child. But it's who else is going to take the two we go? And let's not forget they were taking meth, which they were not in their right mind anyway to even be around any children or to have any children. So the Lord only knows what happened to this baby. But Courtney was given 30 years. She was given 30 years, which 15 of them she has to serve in solitary confinement. And then on top of that 30, she has another 10 years that has to be served right behind consistently with that 30, with the 15 in solitary confinement. And then the other 15, I guess she would be available for parole, possibly. But before then, she's going to have to serve the other 10 years. So that's an automatic 25 years behind bars that she has to do for her of a child. And it brings back the question of when did mothers and fathers stop being mothers and fathers to their children to run up behind someone else? Now, it is said that Courtney was too busy following up behind Christopher, that we see a lot, that she neglected her children to run up behind him and do drugs and not really care. And we see this far too many times in our society where women would, and men too, don't get it twisted, motherfucking men do it too, where women would prefer to chase a spouse or a potential partner or their boyfriends, girlfriends, or whatever, and neglect their children, which your children are your foundation. I've always said my children are part of me. I can never neglect myself, so how can I neglect my kids, So, but you have some people that don't care. And this is one of the cases where a 15-day-old, and the judge asked Christopher McNabb, because he he persistently says that he did not do this crime to his child. He did not do it. He didn't have anything to do with it. He doesn't know what happened to his baby. And the judge asked him, well, what do you think should happen to the person that, did this to your child? He said, well, I think they should be put under the jail. And that's exactly what the judge did. Put him under the jail. Like, he literally has life with no possibility of parole plus 10 years. So it says a lot. not only with our judicial system, because I honestly think she should have gotten life also. Excuse me, if you want to be technical, she should have gotten life also. That child was just as much her responsibility as his, and she's the mom. We mothers are supposed to be nurturers. We're supposed to kick in with that mama bear instinct where, I know I have that. Like, you fuck with my kids, we got a problem. We have a serious issue. But some women will neglect their children for drugs, for money, for a lifestyle, or just to run up behind a man. You have so many women that have killed their children just to be with a man. And now they're doing life in prison, or they received the death penalty while that man is out living his life doing what he wants to do, while you've neglected and killed your own children. For what? Your children are supposed to be a reflection of you. Your children are supposed to be an expression of love and devotion, not just something to showboat and say, look, I have a kid and now let's go do drugs. So we see this happening far too many times in society, where the children are abandoned while parents party and kick it. And it has to, that shit ain't cool. So that's why I want to cover cases to help bring awareness to everyone that, life is precious. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's life is what I consider precious cargo. Everyone is considered valued. Like I covered the cases in regards to the Chicago Strangler, which I'm still covering, and how these women's lives were taken tragically, and they were thrown away as though they were trash, and they were not trash. They were someone's mothers. They were someone's sisters. They were someone's cousins. They were someone's auntie. They were someone's grandmother. And that's why I'm covering more cases like this. Cases that are not heard in the news on a wide spectrum or scale. So that's mainly what this channel will be. And of course, I will still do my makeup and my weed needs. But right now, we're going to be focusing more on crimes and seeing, is there a way that we can stop the crimes, or maybe even see the crimes before they're happening and be self-aware of the shit. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, do I think they got what they deserved? In his instance, no. You deserve 2 life sentences. You never deserve to get out. And I honestly still believe in the death penalty. In certain cases, yes, the death penalty should exist. I have had some tug of war pulls with that conversation, but in some instances, yes, the death penalty should exist. Like, I'm in Illinois, we do not have the death penalty. We used to, but now you have I remember where a cop killer, anyone that killed any police officers, you were automatically sentenced to death. That was no, and we just had a case that just happened here in Chicago where a police was ran down and begged for her life as she was shot. So in some cases, yes, I do believe in a death penalty. And this is one of those cases where I believe, like, you maliciously killed a child, and if you did not want the child, all you had to do was give it to relatives or other parents or adoptive people that actually want children, that cannot have children and wish they could. I'm not talking about the ones that's getting babies for money, like in the case of the Missing West boys. I'm not talking about in that situation. I'm talking about in cases where, women and men, they are infertile. They can't have children. And this baby would have made they would have gave this baby a perfect home, perfect life, well loved. And, nothing is perfect. But when we say the vision of perfect, we're saying in a well-loved atmosphere, giving hugs and kisses and not abused and told that they can be anything and grow up to be anything. So it's sad. And I honestly think the mother, Courtney Bell, should have gotten the same exact sentence as him. She should have gotten life. I don't see why she able to walk out to 25 years pretty much. And she was the mother of this baby. You know, you were out running around trying to get meth and everything when they literally found your baby's body. So it's convoluted and it's insanity when you look at it, but it needs to be spoken about. These topics need to be talked about. You know, a mother that would rather run and do meth than take care of their 15-day-old child. And God only knows what happened to this baby. The baby had mostly head trauma, so God only knows. But we do know one thing, that baby Kayla is resting in peace. She's an angel amongst the other angels in heaven, looking down, protecting on other people. So I have in belief of that. So we're going to end this stream the way I end all my streams. If no one told you they love you, I do. I truly, truly do. Make sure you do better today than you did yesterday and strive for a better tomorrow today. Please hit that subscribe and like button to help get my algorithm going so I can grow my page more and we can have more content and we can talk about more things of this nature. So until then, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.